Bob Marley, the god of reggae, was a Zionist, and his music shows it. But to see it, you need a little bit of out-of-the-box thinking.
Simca's Sessions, out-of-the-box insights into history, religion, and politics.
Okay, so before I explain why Bob Marley is maybe the greatest Zionist composer ever, just remember to like, to share, to subscribe, and if the spirit moves you, become a member. Pay a couple of bucks and support this channel.
Zion train is coming our way. Zion train is coming our way.
Okay, so how is Bob Marley one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Zionist composers ever? Well, you don't have to go far. If you look at his album, Uprising, the last song is what? Zion train is coming. What? Yeah, Zion train is coming our way. Okay, I can't sing like he does, but that's what it says. Listen to the lyrics. It's totally Zionism. What's Zionism? It's the national liberation movement of the Jewish people. So why is Bob Marley singing it? Because he's a Rastafarian. And the Rastafarians are biblically based. Why do they have dreadlocks? Same biblical verse, Leviticus 19:27, that says you shouldn't round out the corners of your head. You shouldn't cut the hair there. And that's why Hasids have the side curls, right? The Rastafarians are more extreme. Don't cut any of your locks on the roundness of your head. Same biblical verse inspires Rastafarianism and Judaism. And they saw Haile Selassie, whose pre-emperor name was Rastafari, as a prophet predicted in the Bible, same text that the Zionists based themselves on. But they saw Ethiopia, and they still do, Rastafarians, as the new Israel, as the African Israel, if you will. And Addis Ababa is the new Jerusalem, the African Jerusalem, not instead of ancient Judea, Israel, but alongside it. Where does all this come from? Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey started the Pan-African movement, the African Zionism, the national liberation movement of the black people, the way the Jews had the national liberation movement of the Jewish people in Zionism. He explicitly said so. He was inspired by Theodor Herzl, the founder of modern Zionism. And his organization was called UNIA. And UNIA was founded in 1914 and based in Harlem in 1917. Marcus Garvey, UNIA. Now, FBI didn't like him or his movement. It had millions of followers. Literally, I think to this day, no other African-American organization had so many followers in the Caribbean, in the United States, in Canada, in South America, in the African diaspora. Basically, what did he say? He said we should do what the Jews, the Zionists, are doing. They are going back to ancient Israel. We should go back to Africa. And where is ancient Israel? He explicitly said so, Marcus Garvey. He said, Africa belongs to the Africans, just as Asia belongs to the Asians, just as Palestine belongs to the Jews. End of quote. Like it or not, Marcus Garvey, this is what he said in the 1920s. Now, the federal government didn't like his Black Power stance. They didn't like his activism. Hoover, the head of the FBI, went after him, and they finally took him to court on a mail fraud accusation that he cheated when he was raising money. He got very upset at individual Jews. The judge was Jewish, the prosecutor was Jewish, never mind that some of his attorneys were also Jewish, but he said some nasty things about how the Jews ganged up on him. He never turned against Zionism. In fact, he turned against some Jews, but not against Zionism. He turned against what he saw as African American collaborators with the system. What he wanted is separatism. He saw Ethiopia as biblically prophesied as the African Israel. So to this day, you have these organizations that were created around what was in Garvey's head and Garvey's heart. Some organizations took over his anti-Semitism, like the Nation of Islam, Farrakhan. I mean, at its inception, you have people like Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X's parents. They belonged to UNIA. UNIA was based on a Zionist ideology by Marcus Garvey. And some took over, like Martin Luther King and the whole civil rights movement. The Jewish empowerment became the black empowerment. And they worked together in the civil rights movement. Zionists, Jews, and African Americans looking for rights in America. So what you have is both the anti-Israel and the pro-Israel black movements today, organizations, are based in what was originally Marcus Garvey's ideology, which was pro-Zionist, and based the African empowerment on Jewish empowerment. That's why you have one of the greatest Zionist songs ever written, Zion Train is Coming, and it is. If you like what you just heard, don't forget, like, share, subscribe, become members.